Welcome to today's discussion with Alicia Kerber Palma, Consul General of Mexico in Houston, Texas, and one of the 2021 Global Leaders of Influence recognized by the World Affairs Council of Greater Houston. I am Miriam Maldonado, Chief Executive Officer of the World Affairs Council of Greater Houston, and we're so pleased to have our guest today and you joining us. The World Affairs Council of Greater Houston is dedicated to global education and also to recognizing individuals in our community who, like Houston's founders, Jesse H. Jones and Mary Jones, built our city to become one of the most diverse cities in America. For more information, you can see on our website at wachouston.org, you can go to our Jones Award. And again, this is October 14th, 2021 at the Post Oak Hotel here in Houston, Texas. Now it's my pleasure, Consul General, congratulations and welcome.
No, thank you so much for this distinction. It's really a pleasure for me to be with you today.
Thank you, thank you. Well, we're thrilled that we're going to recognize you as one of our 2021 Global Leaders of Influence at this signature event. And you have had such an amazing career. I just want to share a few minutes about your background, then we'll get into our conversation. You have been a member of the Foreign Service since 1991, have degrees in law and a master's and doctorate in international law. You've served all across, well, a lot of the world, Honduras, the representative of Mexico before the Organization of American States, the titular consul of Consulate of Mexico in Kansas, the Consul of Mexico, Philadelphia, now the Great Consul General in Houston, Texas. And you have done such an amazing work for comprehensive care for women with the aim of giving special attention to Mexican migrant women adopted by the Mexican Consular Network in the US. And you've developed that mentor program, which empowers young migrants, and it's promoted all across the US. That is such an amazing, amazing career, and congratulations on being so successful. And we just are so honored that you are going to be with us, and we're so proud that we can recognize you. Tell us a little bit about how the consulate is doing in this strange environment that we're in right now, and the Houston community that you so diligently serve.
Well, as you know, we are facing a new reality. We never knew that this COVID situation was going to have such an impact in different types of activities of everybody, and mainly at the consulate, because as you know, we receive here at the consulate around 700 people in daily basis, not only to receive their passports and their Mexican's ID, but also to have birth certificates and to also, I don't know, testaments, and to receive information about their rights and to receive legal advice. We have plenty of programs where usually people used to come with their families, receive all the information, go to, and also to our health window. By the fact today we are applying the COVID vaccines, and we have received a lot of people are outside receiving the COVID vaccine. So as you can see in these days, we need to take care of those that are very vulnerable in our society, in our community. Those ones are migrants that have come here to the United States, can contribute with their hard work to the economy of Texas. And that's why we are committed to give them all the support that they require. But we needed to do it in a very safety way. So we have extended our hours of working here at the consulate so that we can have those social distance situation. And also we are applying the gel, we are taking temperature, and we are trying to develop more programs that can help our community, but taking into account that this is the new reality. This is what we are going to face in the future. And as you said, what happens in the global world is going to impact in every country, and what happens in every country is going to impact in a global way. So we cannot see COVID as something that we can target just inside a country. It needs to be seen that as something that needs global solutions in order that we can have a safe world.
That is so true. And now, like none other, we really have to look out for each other. And it's important that we do that. And our neighbors to the south are such important neighbors, not only trade related, but they're just ingrained in our community. I was recently a guest at your opening of your new facility, which is gorgeous. What did this expansion mean for the Mexican citizens in Houston and for our city?
Well, for us, it's like the presence of the Mexican community here in Houston has grown tremendously. And you can see them, not only the hardworking people that are working in your yards or working in your roofs or in the food sector, but you also have a lot of Mexicans working in the innovation programs, in the hospitals. We have lots of Mexican doctors that give attention to the North American people. We have nurses, we have professors in the universities, in the community college, and we are also having young students that come and study here in the United States. So for them, we need to develop different kinds of programs, because that's why we want to give them all the attention that they require. And these buildings represent that we are moving to a new era of modernity, but at the same time of having all that community together working in behalf of the image of Mexicans here in the United States. As you know, we have a very important culture, one of the more antiques culture all around the world. And we want all the Mexican community, but also the North American community, to know what is Mexico, to really understand what is our country. We are not just taco, mariachis, and tequila. We are much more than that. We are technology, we are innovation, we are young people working. We have a lot of different type of programs that we can export to the world. We have a trade that we are the first partner of Texas on trade. And as you know, now that we are talking about globalization, about the importance of global chains, the chain of production of, for example, a car that comes from, that is here in the United States, crosses the border crosses the border 8 times in order to a North American buyer have it here in the United States. So it's impossible to just cut the chain of production and say, well, we are going to be only local producers. That cannot be done in these days. Everybody depends on everybody. Every country is chained with the production of another country, sometimes of your neighbors, sometimes of another countries that are abroad, like, I don't know, Asian countries, Europe, you name it. We need to see everything very well linked in order to have better solution and to give the new generations the proper solutions that they require and that we also require.
And I know that we have some similar aligned priorities, the US and Mexico. Can you tell us about the priorities basically for your coverage and the region that you cover here in this community?
Well, I think that the priorities, we have many areas of common interest. For example, we are committed with democracy. We are committed with human rights. We are also committed with protecting the environment. And in those areas, we are working very close with the North American authorities. Recently is going to begin to work the high-level dialogue on trade between the two countries that had the representation of those big and medium and small entrepreneurs that are going to work together in order to increase the trade between our countries, but not only between North America and the United States, but also with Canada. As you know, the new trade agreement between Canada, United States has new measures, new dispositions. So we need to work together in order to work as a region, be competitive as a region, because you can see that the Asian countries working as a bloc. The European countries are also working as a bloc, so we need to be more competitive. We need to prepare our new generations to see more abroad the borders and to have in their imaginations that the world doesn't stop in the borders, that the world is much more than just, I don't know, Iowa, Omaha, Texas. We need to work for the new generations to open their minds and to not build more, how do you say, fences of knowledge.
Speaking of change, since President Biden came into office, have there been any notable changes in U.S. policy toward Mexico, maybe especially surrounding immigration?
Well, we have strong the relation with the Biden administration. You know, Mexico and the United States had always been working together in several aspects, and I'm sure that the Biden administration is not going to be the exception. The relation that we have is with the North American country and with the North American community is linked with, as I told you, in different ways, in science and innovation, in young students, in women relations. So that's something that is not going to change because an administration moves. It's only the way, I think that every time that administration changes, just the way that things are going to be presented, but at the end, the essence of the topics is the more important.
And that is so important. We reached out to a few students previous to this, and they've come up with some questions for you. So I'd like to share those with you. And I want to tweak some just a little bit because I'm a little bit curious. You have such an amazing career, and to be the head of post in a city that is Houston, one of the most diverse cities in the US. Maybe there's something from your past experience that you felt like was pivotal in your career path, or maybe a significant accomplishment that you would like to share?
Well, as you were telling before, when you make the presentation, I think that my greatest achievement has been working in behalf of migrant women. When every time that we talk about migration, we imagine that man that comes from another country in order to provide a better life for their families. But we forget that 51% of the international migration is done by women. So that's why I decided to work very close with migrant women. I went to talk with those women that work in the meat factory, that are a lot of them working in those factories. I went to the mushroom farms to talk with migrant women, and they were telling me the difficulties they face once they come to another country where they don't know the legal structure, the administrative structure, they don't even know the language sometimes. And sometimes they are victims of domestic violence and many other types of crimes. And they are afraid of presenting any type of report to the law enforcement authorities because they think that they are going to be separated from their kids, that they are going to be deported, that they don't have any type of protection. So for that is that I created the window for the comprehensive attention of women. That let me tell you that Mexico is the first country that has a program that with a gender view, and that is the window for the comprehensive attention of women, where we try to give them not only the legal advice, but also we provide them with psychological assistance, medical assistance. We provide them with lawyers so that they can obtain, I don't know, maybe the T visa, the BAWA visa, the U visa, and help them get out of those circles of violence so that they can be autonomous, independent, and that they can work for their own lives instead of depending of somebody that is violent with them, with their families. And today, as you know, is the Orange Day, where everybody around the world try to make actions in order to prevent violence against women and young girls. And today we are having very important activities here at the consulate so that we can help not only women that have suffered from domestic violence, but those kids that are entering in this relation with young boys so that they can understand that maybe joking could be a signal of violence. Maybe pushing your friend is not that they are playing, it's also a signal of violence. That maybe being jealous is not that they love you, is also a sign of violence. So that's why I think that has been my greatest achievement, to create this window that now has been replicated in the 50 consulates that Mexico has here in the United States.
Wow, that is such an amazing and important work. And it's something that we all should be more invested in and learn more about. How do we get more aware of some of these programs? Can you point us to, should we go to the consulate website?
Yes, yeah, everybody that is interested in the programs that we have here at the consulate, like the window for the comprehensive attention of women, like the health window. We have also programs of financial education. People can finish their elementary school, like the middle school, high school, and even some careers through our systems that are completely free. And they will receive an official certificate from the Mexican institution, valid certificate from the official Mexican institutions. So if somebody wants to have information about this, they can go to our webpage or they can send us an email. We also have Twitter, we have Instagram. We are connected, you know, now digital diplomacy is all on. So we are working on those areas, and people call us and connect us whenever they want.
Another question, Fatima asks, where do you see Houston in the next 10 years, maybe specific to the Mexican community also?
Well, I can tell that Houston is a representation of a global city, as would you say, as the consul says. What happens global affects us locally, and vice versa. Where do you, well, how do I see Houston in the future? I think that Houston has a great potential because it also represents and has also had the contribution of the migrant community. You can see all around, there are plenty of business of different type. Sometimes people from Houston take it for granted that they can go to an Indonesian restaurant or a Chinese food restaurant, a Mexican restaurant. They can have a cultural exhibition from, I don't know, Spain. There are plenty of activities that you have in this city. And that represents the diversity of the city, the richness that Houston has given to the diversity, and to that recognize the contribution of migration also. I think that in the future is going to be a great economy, a diverse economy with innovation. You can see innovation that is growing fast here in Houston. And it's going to be a sample of coexistence and integration between various cultures.
Well, thank you for your time today, Consul General, and congratulations once more on being a 2021 Global Leader of Influence. I hope all of you will join us for our celebration lunch on October 14th, and you can find out all that information at our website, wachouston.org. closing remarks, Consul General?
Well, I will like to let the new generations know that if they want to be part of any foreign service, that will be a very good experience, because you are not only allowed to know another cultures and another countries, but also to build a better world for everybody. Please, you need to read more and to really have this spirit of knowing your neighbors. I'm talking, like, for example, with Mexico, we are your neighbors. Sometimes it has been said that if you don't like your neighbor, you change from your house or you kill your neighbor. Well, you are not going to kill Mexico, because we are your neighbors for a long time ago. And the better way and we are not going to move to another region. We are going to stay here, linking the communities of Mexico and the United States. And a better way to know us is come and visit us. We have plenty of areas that you can know. We have beaches, we have mountains, we have colonial cities, we have a lot of culture. So come visit Mexico. And I think that will help also our communities to strengthen the relation that we had for several years.
Consul General, thank you. Thank all of you for joining us. Have a great afternoon, and I hope you join us for October 14th for our Global Leaders of Influence celebration at our International Awards Luncheon. Thank you all.